Guys, and welcome to our video here that's going to explain our climate change PowerPoint project. So it's very important that you actually read the climate change PowerPoint project directions and rubric that's found on Canvas. I'm going to show you that here in just a moment so you can kind of get an idea of what's going to be going on with the project. But what's the assignment? Well, the assignment is to read, research, and learn about global warming and climate change. You're going to select one of 4 topics, whichever one interests you the most, and you're going to create a PowerPoint slideshow, and then you're going to turn it into me, Mrs. Olt. Now, you've made PowerPoints before. We've done that earlier in the year where we used PowerPoint to make our slides and things like that, and so we're going to be using that tool again. All right, so what are your 4 topics? Well, you can do an overview of climate change if you'd like to. You can focus on just the greenhouse effect, how human activities produce greenhouse gases, or how climate change affects people and the environment. You're going to notice that these 4 topics come directly from our lectures that we've had previously. So hopefully you've been taking your notes so you have some good ideas. Each PowerPoint's going to have 13 slides, and I'm going to go into more detail on those slides here in just a minute when I show you the rubric. But slide 1 is simply a title page. Slide 2 is an introduction. Slides 3 through 8 will be the actual information about your topic. Slide 9 through 11 are going to be your quiz questions. You need to create 3 short answer questions that you might quiz your audience like we would do in our Jeopardy games. Slide 12 is going to be your personal opinion on your topic, and slide 13 is your work cited. This is an extremely important slide, guys. No work cited, no grade, because you're getting your information from different sources. This is not information you're coming up with originally on your own. So you are taking this from sources. So you need to give credit where credit is due. If you do not, that's considered plagiarism and you will get a 0. All right, we're going to talk about your checkpoints. This is not a project you're going to be able to wait until the last minute to do. I'm going to actually give you points over your checkpoints, which means you're going to have parts of your project that are due on certain days. So I've broken this up into smaller pieces that makes this more manageable for you. If you waited until the very last day to do all 13 slides, do your research and put this together, it would not go well at all. And so we're not going to do that. So checkpoint 1 and your topic are due on April 28th. So you're going to need to submit to me your topic. We'll talk about how to do that near the end. And then checkpoint 1 will be slides 1 and 2. Then you're going to work on slides 3 through 5. That's checkpoint number 2. Those will be due April 30th at 11 p.m. Checkpoint number 3 is 6 through 8, which will be due May 4th. And then finally, your project will be due on May 6th. So yes, just make sure that you do not lose points because you didn't make those checkpoint due dates. So it's going to keep you accountable and making sure you're getting things done. And it's going to make it much easier because once we reach the last day when this is due, you literally have 3 more slides to do and that's it. All right, I mentioned slide number 13 is extremely important. You must cite every source that you use on this research PowerPoint. You also want to make sure you use good scientific sources. Remember, no work cited, no grade. All right, so let's go take a look over at the rubric real quick. All right, so here is your rubric. And you'll notice that it's due May 4th at 11 p.m. Actually, that's a change. I need to change that. I believe it's due May 6th for you. All right, I'll make that change and update it on there. And you're going to notice your title page, your introduction. So just making a title page is worth 10 points. Your introduction is 10 points. Slides 3 through 8 is worth 90 points. Then you have slide 9 through 11, which is your quiz questions, which is simply 1 slide per question animated so the correct answer appears later. Different levels of questions, meaning you don't want all what questions or why questions or where questions. Just make that a little different, and you do have to have 1 picture. And then your personal opinion. We'll talk more in detail about these as we get to those checkpoints. And then your works cited. And that's how I'm going to grade this for you. You notice too that I give you some sites that you can go to look up recommended website resources. You'll notice I do have a couple of .coms here, but that's just select environmental videos. And this one, actually, you're going to click on teacher resources and you can look through more resources there. So this is a site that leads you to more resources. Please remember our checklist for approved scientific sites. Make sure that you can identify an individual or group responsible for the site's content. Make sure the site has been updated in the last 3 months. Make sure it has external links that go to credible sources. Make sure the site has .gov or .edu or .org, things like that. This site contains information on how you can contact the person, things like that. Okay, guys, so those are really important. I'm going to put .org in here for you too, to make sure you follow on this, okay? All right, so let's talk about each topic real quick. So if you decide you want to do an introduction to climate change, some of the things you'll talk about is a definition of global warming. How does global warming work? You're going to talk about, explain how global warming leads to climate change. So you need to clarify what the difference between the two are. And then you want to give 2 pieces of evidence that show climate change is happening, describe some of the negative effects of climate change, and explain why people should care about this issue. And then you would do your quiz questions, your personal opinion, your works cited. If you're looking at the greenhouse effect, once again, you're going to talk about what is global warming and why it's important, describe the greenhouse gases and the greenhouse effect, provide a diagram and explain that diagram of the greenhouse effect. How does the greenhouse effect relate to climate change? Natural causes of greenhouse gases, human causes of greenhouse gases, and why is climate change an important issue that needs to be addressed? And then you would do your quiz questions, personal opinion, and works cited. If you're interested in how human activities produce greenhouse gases, in this one you would talk about what are the major causes of greenhouse gases, diagram showing explaining the causes of greenhouse gases, types of fossil fuels used by people that cause greenhouse gases, what is deforestation and why is it a problem, and describe daily human activities that produce greenhouse gases. And then why is it important to reduce the amount of greenhouse gases produced? Now, if you're looking through all this, guys, you'll understand we've talked about all of these things. So you just have to go into a little bit more detail about them. And lastly, how climate change affects people and the environment. If this is the topic you would like to do, you're going to talk about what is climate change and how is it related to global warming. How has the climate already changed and why does that matter? The effect of climate change on glaciers, the effect of climate change on plants and animals, the effect of climate change on people's health and homes, and the effect of climate change on water resources for people. So these are all things that you can research and look more into. So you have to decide from these 4 topics which one interests you the most and pick one of them. And then you can look here to exactly the information you need to be putting on your slides. So I'm not just leaving it up there. I'm giving you clear direction here, guys. So make sure you refer to this. And once again, I'm going to have checkpoints for you or checklists here. So have you done everything on slide 1? You're going to be able to check this off and say, yes, I've done all these things. And so this is a great way to come back and look and make sure, hey, have I done everything? One of the big things I'm going to ask you is make sure you're going to edit and proofread. Does it make sense? Reread your sentences. Are there no errors? Things like that, because it's something we look for. This needs to look professional. That's very important. Okay, guys? So make sure we're doing that. All right, so your first checkpoint. First of all, you need to pick your topic. So from those 4 topics that were mentioned previously, look at the paper, Introduction to Climate Change, Greenhouse Effect, how are humans affecting greenhouse gases, and then how is greenhouse effect affecting the people and environment. Pick one of those that you want to focus on, and you need to submit that to me. So you need to pick one of those topics, type it on a Word document, and submit it on Canvas. Then you need to work on checkpoint number 1. Checkpoint 1 is simply slide number 1 and slide number 2. Slide number 1 is simply your title page. Make an interesting or catchy title. Include your first and last name, your period, G3, the date, and a picture of the topic. Pretty straightforward, not hard there. Checkpoint number 1 still is also slide number 2. And slide number 2, you want to do your introduction slide. Use your own words to summarize what your slideshow is going to be about. So give me a little preview, 2 or 3 sentences telling me as I scroll through this, what am I learning about? What are you telling me about? So don't forget, topic and checkpoint number 1 are all due on 4/28 at 11 p.m. If you have any questions, make sure you reach out to me and talk to me about it. And please, 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 guys, do not hesitate. Do not wait on this. Sorry, don't hesitate to reach out to me for help if you get stuck, but please do not wait on these. Meet those checkpoints because this will make this very easy for you if you do, and you don't want to lose those points. Those are pretty important points to keep with the project. Okay, guys, so meet those checkpoints. All right, talk to you soon.